Yo, I'm so happy y'all jumped right in here, yo. I was streaming on Facebook, told everybody on Facebook I'm about to hop on YouTube, but in between that, right, I check my Instagram a lot, yo. On social media, I just try to follow like informative, influential pages, and yo, I just seen some shit, yo. My man on Facebook posted, I mean on Instagram posted, yo. This shit about to be crazy. I gotta get some more people in here to watch this, yo. I only heard like 1 minute of it, and I'm like, wow, that's. I don't know how legit this thing is gonna be. I want to listen to it for the first time with everybody else. Like I said, I just kind of skimmed through the first little part of it, and it's already like, what the fuck, what the fuck. But it's the same thing I was just saying. Like, people have been predicting this thing for a minute. Yo, what up, yo? Yo, I'm live on YouTube right now. Come to my YouTube channel, yo. If you're gonna chill in here for like a few minutes, come to YouTube. I got something to show y'all. My YouTube channel is just my regular name, yo. Travis Prince. Go to YouTube. Thanks so much. It's just my name, Travis Prince. I'm on YouTube at Travis Prince, yo. I think the link ain't in my bio. The link in my bio is to my TV show. But yeah, yo, Tyson. I'm on YouTube live, bro. And them brushes. Everybody, come to YouTube real quick, yo. I just seen some shit up here on Instagram, yo. I'm about to play that. I'm about to play that shit. I didn't even listen to the whole thing, but I listened to like a minute, not even a whole minute of like 30 seconds of it. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I want all of us to listen to this shit together real quick, yo. And see what the hell this shit talking about, man. Cause like I said, man, people have been speculating this shit for a minute, yo. Like different scenarios like this. Once again, movies, books, video games, or some type of viral outbreak. Like, it's not zombies, but The Walking Dead is one of the most famous ones. Like, recently, and what's some other shit? 28 Days Later, I Am Legend, um, fucking Contagion. There's this one movie called Quarantine. Um, this other movie I watched called Survivors, and it's all about some flu pandemic, some viral outbreak that demolishes the whole world, where maybe there's only like 5 or 10% of the population that's immune to it, and those are the only people that survives. And so we've hypothesized, we've fantasized, we've sci-fied this whole scenario before. It's not like something that we haven't actually thought about. Resident Evil, you know what I'm saying? Some type of virus that gets out and kills mostly everybody or anybody who gets infected with it. The Last of Us. The Last of Us is a awesome. I can't wait for The Last of Us Part 2 to come out because that shit is so good, yo. But yeah, there's so many different scenarios about this, and everybody has seen some type of the T virus. Yo, Cheryl. Hey, I got enough positivity for me and you. This is the only thing I'm good at, yo. This is the only thing I'm good at, yo. You know what I'm saying? Find what you good at and just do that, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? It's a passion. If you got a passion, it don't fucking matter. If you watch the movie The Pianist, it's about World War II, the piano player. There's bombs and everything blowing on around him. Well, first thing they playing the piano. Um, the Titanic, the ship's going down. Motherfuckers still playing their violins. You know what I'm saying? That's all they got. I'm about to die. Water just steady rising. Motherfuckers still like, yeah, oh well, I'm gonna go out doing what I love. You know what I'm saying? At least I died playing the violin, nigga. Shit. That's how I feel, yeah. This shit go out, I'm gonna have a hot ass painting on my easel. If that shit finished or not, you know what I'm saying? That's how I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die with some paint on my hands or whatever. The girl with all the gifts. But it's just, I don't know. It's basically there's shit to live for. You know what I'm saying? You can't panic and be like, oh, what the hell do I do? There's shit to live for. You just can't. Yo, my A1 from day one, D1. But yeah, shit's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Shit is gonna happen. Just gotta keep on keeping on. Like, I love my art. I love painting. You know what I'm saying? Stop lying, bro. You ain't got a lot of. It's me. It's me, bro. You ain't got a lot of me, homie. Fuck. Hey, I know you. I know you work, bro. Especially on that forklift shit. All day. Back on this side. Back on this side. Motherfuckers. 16 hours, dog. Hey man, you are a essential worker, bro. You are a essential worker. I just seen some weird ass shit on a motherfucking Instagram page I follow. Actually, an Instagram page I used to work for. Kind of work for. Well, I didn't work for the Instagram page. I worked for the website. Colossal.com. Young guy. He's like not a major league basketball player, but he plays in like the leagues overseas and stuff. He's looking to get recruited to the NBA, but really young guy, athlete, but he's fucking smart, conscious as shit, yo. He started a couple of small businesses. He came across my artwork and wanted me to be the art director for his website. I did that for a little while. I don't know. Things just slowed down for a minute, and I got paid a couple of times from it. And then I didn't have access to the website to post things anymore. I kind of questioned him about it one time. He said, "Oh, I'll try to fix it." And whatever. I'm not doing that anymore. But anyway, I still follow the guy. You know what I'm saying? And he just posted some really crazy ass shit on his Instagram, and I want people to hear this shit, bro. I'm about to So I'm about to play this shit right now. As soon as I want a few people in here so all of us can listen to this at the same time. I'll be right back. Gotta go grab some snacks and shit. See if we can all get some insight and input on this situation. So look, guys. I miss you too, Sarah. With your goofy ass. Yo, come to my YouTube channel and subscribe to it. Hit the notification bell. We already got a few viewers up in here. We're already talking and bullshitting, so we're about to listen to some. We're about to listen to this old interview right here. and have a quick debate about this thing. So, my YouTube is just my regular name, Travis Prince. Y'all can find it easy. Like I say, we're already live in the studio, and we're going to do a quick debate session, our info section, real quick. Yo, Tim, telling everybody, come to the YouTube channel real quick, bro. You're about to listen to something that I think may be interesting. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. I haven't listened to it yet, so I'll hear it the first time along with everybody else. So if you're going to chill for a minute, you got some free time, definitely come over to the YouTube channel. I'm live on air right now. As you can see, we're in the studio, about to get it popping. So, all right, 5 people here. I'm telling everybody, YouTube is where it's at. YouTube has a bigger picture, better sound quality. The comments are on the side of the screen, so it's easier to read without obstructing the picture. It's just a better setup. My YouTube channel is Travis Prince. Go to YouTube, type in my regular name. You will definitely find my channel. It may be the second or third one in the list. And I'll see you guys over there. I'm about to play this thing right now, so hurry up and come to YouTube so we can all talk about this real quick. Peace. All right, so I don't have the copy of the book anymore, but I talk about David Icke a lot because he was one of the first people to actually influence me to conspiracies and conspiracy theories. He talks a lot about governments, banks, but David Icke also goes into the realm of aliens and different dimensions, the hollow moon theory. He talks about a lot of stuff. And so, damn, that's crazy. But David Icke talks about all kinds of stuff. And for a while, I was really, really, really into David Icke. I was trying to listen and read anything I can from this dude, yo. Any and everything I can from David Icke. And so I came across this one YouTube channel called Project Camelot. And now Project Camelot is a set of interviewers, and they interview different people, such as David Icke. And they interview a lot of people. I think Bob Lazar has a Project Camelot interview. And once again, Bob Lazar is heavy into the UFO extraterrestrial conspiracies, and he sits there and talks about that. So those are like some of the things that Project Camelot likes to focus on in their interviews. Just like I say, strolling through Instagram, came across my homeboy's Instagram page. He posted this clip from a Project Camelot interview. And I'm like, I know Project Camelot. I listened to David Icke on there before. So I clicked on this shit, yo. And like the first few words out this dude's mouth was on some crazy shit, bro. Some crazy this. Never heard of this dude before, yo.
A bit of an unusual video presentation here.
This is Bill Ryan from Project Camelot and Project Avalon.
Ryan from Project Camelot and Project Avalon. And the date is the 16th of February, 2010. And this is a bit of an unusual video presentation.
The 16th of February, 2010. So this was fucking 10 years ago. Now this right here is 49 minutes. Of course, what I saw on Instagram was just like a minute or so. I didn't even watch the whole clip on Instagram. As soon as he said what he said, because they took the best snippet, of course, and put that to a little clip for the Instagram shit. But I'm like, I want to hear everything that revolves around that. And this is from 10 years ago. This is Ray Allen. That's what he said his name was? Project Camelot interview from 2010.
Because I'm taking the step of making a video as an interpretation and as a commentary on an audio interview which we did with an important witness who came and reported his story to Project Camelot a little while ago, about a couple of weeks ago. And as with many of our witnesses, this person wanted to remain anonymous, but he has agreed that we transcribe the audio, and so we've got this as a transcript. And this is going to be released at the same time as the video because it's important to be able to read the transcript at the same time as you're considering what I'm saying about it here. And as we come into this story, you're going to understand exactly why it's important to get all the information, to hold it all into a very fine balance. Now, this is a British person, and he worked in the British military for a number of years. And after he retired from the military, he worked in the City of London in a fairly senior position, in a respected position.
London and the City of London are two different things. London and the City of London are two different things. The City of London is this small little area where all the fucking Weisenhaups and Rothschilds, it's their banking. It's their banking city. It's called the City of London. It's not, it's different. It's totally different, yo. It's kind of like, it's almost like DC. Because DC is not a fucking state. It's the District of Columbia. Why is it the District of Columbia? Do some research. But DC is not, it's not a state, it's just a district. And that's where all of our judiciary laws come from, because they can't be regulated by a state's constitution. So London and the City of London aren't the same thing.
In the City of London. And for those people watching this video who don't know about the City of London, the City of London is like an enclave. It's like a financial enclave in the heart of London itself. Some people consider it almost a little bit like the Vatican. It's very old, it's very ancient.
Now, I ain't never listened to this shit. I never heard this interview. I know what the fuck I be talking about on some shit, yo. You know, some things I do. I say, just research, man. Just do your research, bro. Like you said, that shit kind of like the Vatican, the City of London, and London ain't the same fucking thing, yo. It's an enclave. It's where all the rich, powerful banking institutions are located in the city of London.
Part of the financial system, not only of Britain, but possibly the world. Many researchers consider that it's very likely that the City of London calls the shots on financial systems in America. They've got control over the Federal Reserve, the bank.
All right, this like I say, this piece right here is, I'm gonna listen to this whole thing. It's almost an hour long. It's like 49 minutes. I'm gonna show y'all what I heard on Instagram, and it's a clip. It's an excerpt from this same piece right here. So I was listening to, who posted that shit? Like I say, man, I only follow motherfuckers who be posting the good shit, yo. Somebody's like, Facebook ain't news, but if you follow the right people on Facebook and Instagram, they'll have just as good as news as anybody. So this right here is the same guy.
Biological weapons are released on China.
Hold on.
And then the next thing that happens in this chess game that's being played is that biological weapons are released on China. You heard this being discussed in this meeting. They will release a flu-like virus that will be genetically targeted against the Chinese population. It's racially targeted against the Chinese people. It's designed to spread like wildfire and to knock out a large number of the Chinese people. And these people in this meeting were laughing about this. They said China will catch a cold. Those were their words. China will catch a cold. And they were laughing about the fact that these biological weapons will wreak havoc among the Chinese population. And after that, then what effectively will be a kind of plague will actually spread right across the world to the west as well. So it was not clear whether this was a Chinese retaliation or whether the thing would just spread out of control in the way that it would be very understandable if it did, whether it's racially targeted or not. These things actually mutate. And last year we heard President Obama talking about how he wanted to have a sort of national guard at home in America ready to handle this kind of thing. There are a lot of indicators that this is being set up. So now you've got a situation where there's been limited nuclear war in the Middle East. And then the next thing that
Yo, and that shit from 10 years ago. This motherfucker was saying that shit 10 years ago. That's why I say, yo, it's so hard to fucking... Yo, Boozy, what a doozy. It's so hard to believe any fucking thing, bro. It's hard to believe this dude. You know what I'm saying? But if this motherfucker said that shit 10 years ago, when Obama was still in office, Obama got in office in what, 08? So, and he recorded this interview in 2010 saying that somebody told him, and they don't even want their voice on tape. They're like, I'll let you record me, audio record me, but you can't play my voice. I want you to transcribe my words and you can read it in your own voice. But whoever gave this dude that information was saying, oh, you know, they're going to implement some kind of biological weapon in China to target the Chinese, and it's going to spread across the world like wildfire. Huh? What?
National settlements, a whole bunch of things that happen. This is like the nerve center of the financial world. And it's very Masonic, it's very ancient, it's very traditional. And our source attended a number of meetings with senior Masons. And while many of these were interesting, they were routine by City of London standards. They were discussing financial affairs and so on and so forth. And then in June 2005, he attended another meeting that he thought was going to be a routine meeting, but actually this was something rather unusual, and he realized it was unusual as soon as he arrived. In fact, in his interview with us, the one which we have the transcript of, you will see that he says that he felt it was an accident that he was there. He shouldn't really have been there. He didn't know what was happening. And as such, he didn't really participate in the meeting. He was there as a little bit as a fly on the wall. He was just listening to what was happening. And at first he didn't even understand what was being discussed. Now, the people there were Masons. They were senior Masons. They were about 25 or 30 people there, including senior politicians who most people in the UK would recognize by name. I do not know who they were. He didn't name them, and I didn't ask them, but he said these are well-known names. The chief of police was there, representatives from the church, representatives from the military, 25 or 30 people. And as he listened to this story being discussed, it was an informal meeting. It wasn't like at a big table with kind of notepads and water glasses and minutes and an agenda and a chairman. There were just people in a room who were talking about all of this stuff. And what they were talking about was a plan that had clearly been made a long time ago. And what they were discussing was they were discussing the implementation of this plan. They were discussing how things were going, whether they were on track or not. And for example, to give a flavor of this, they were discussing between them some of the problems that they had in the implementation of their plan. And as this little presentation continues here, you will realize what the plan was. And I'm going to be revealing this in very much the same way as it was revealed to our witness and as he revealed it to me, bit by bit, step by step. The first thing that he heard was they were talking about the fact that Israel didn't look as if it was getting prepared to attack Iran anytime soon. This was a problem. Even back in June 2005, they were apparently concerned that what it was that was planned on some kind of a timeline wasn't rolling out according to schedule, and this was an issue for them. So that attracted his attention very quickly, because he'd never been in a meeting when this kind of thing was discussed. Then they were talking about China and how powerful China was getting, both militarily and financially, very quickly, and that the Japanese...
Financially? Fuck. God damn it, Wolf. I'm about to be out, yo. I'm calling my uncle this afternoon, man. I'm coming home. But, like I said, this was in 2010. 10 years ago, people were already worried about the economic implications of China's might. But that's what a lot of people already speculated too. Those were some of the first questions that were being asked. Can this be transmitted by mosquitoes? Because we know mosquitoes can carry malaria. And some doctors were already saying they highly doubt that this virus would be transmitted from person to person through insect bites, mosquitoes, fleas, or whatever like that. So it's but who knows? Like the man just said, shit can mutate or whatever, yo. But once again, this was recorded in 2010. He's talking about things that happened in 2005, how they were speculating China's military and economic growth. This has been a threat for a while. And China's been saying this is the Asian century. A century is 100 years. What they're saying is, we're setting ourselves up to be the leaders for the next 100 years. Nobody's going to be able to surpass us economically. That's why they're investing heavily in Africa, trying to get African countries to use the yen as their national currency. That's why they're investing heavily in the new Silk Road, or the Belt and Line, which stretches from China all the way to fucking Northern Europe. In every country that it goes through, China is dealing out subsidies to the countries that can't afford to build the road in their portion of the country. So China's paying for all of it, and you countries can just pay us back later. Or if you can't pay us back, then we'll, work out some deal where we get, a certain percentage of your resources or something every. But China is not playing, and a lot of, especially America, with our waning power, our dollar is not as strong as it used to be. We've been fearful. Well, the country has been fearful of China, just the economic implications of China, for over a decade. Once again, I've never listened to this shit, but this is all the same shit that I've been saying. Like, it should be common knowledge for everybody. Yo, Lou, what it do?
What they were supposed to do, which is to interfere in some way with the Chinese financial system. They weren't doing that, and this was another problem because China was getting too strong too quickly. Other things that were discussed were, for example, the coming financial crash, the centralization of resources, everything that we saw starting to happen in October 2008. They were planning that and referring to it in their meeting in June 2005. So there was clearly a rollout of some plan here, and he was quite shocked the more that he heard. And when he really realized what was happening, he was extremely shocked. And one of the reasons why I'm giving this video presentation now is to soften the blow and interpret this a little tiny bit, because it is shocking information. And what I also want to do is I want to try and differentiate out between what it was that he reported, because he'd heard it with his own ears, and what it is that is his speculation and my speculation about how all this fits together. It's very important information. We need to know this stuff. Even though it doesn't look like it's going to be on track, I don't think this will happen. I think that there are a bunch of crazy people there who are extremely determined to do something, and they were in a hurry, and this is important to understand, they were in a rush to try and roll out this sequence of events. Now, what he described is what the sequence of events was. It starts with Israel attacking Iran. Now, this hasn't happened yet.
But
there
that
have been
has
a number of
happened.
indications that
Israel already attacked
there
Iran.
are forces which are trying to push this into happening. You've only got to follow the news for the last 2 years to realize that the public is being prepared for a justification for this kind of thing. Iran is being set up as being the bad guys that deserve something to happen to them, and so on and so forth. Now, that's going to be the start of what is like the opening gambit in a big chess game. And the plan is to provoke Iran or China to retaliate. And our guy, our source, who is a military man, is privately as convinced as he can be, although this has never been made public and this is not publicly known, that Iran does have nuclear weapons. He believes that they have been provided by China behind the scenes. And all of this is intended because it's all right with these controlling forces that Iran has nuclear weapons, because they want them to be used. The plan is for either Iran or for China to retaliate after Iran is struck with a nuclear weapon. At that point, there will be a limited nuclear exchange in the Middle East, followed by a ceasefire. He heard this being planned in this meeting. This is being choreographed. It's like the script for a movie. This is exactly what's intended to happen. And during this time, the other thing that's being set up for this, and many people watching this will be aware that this is being set up in the background. We've had a lot of information about this from a number of good researchers from many countries who are reporting this on the internet, that things are being set up in many of the Western countries for there to be heavy controls over populations, martial law, increased powers on security forces who are not just the army or the police, but in Britain, for example, our source said that he absolutely knew personally for a fact, that a very large number of private security people, their powers were being increased to give them the ability to arrest people, the ability to detain, the ability to handle riots in streets. And here we're talking about just regular people working in private security, people who give the parking tickets on the streets. Their powers are being increased in the same way. And last year we heard President Obama talking about how he wanted to have a sort of national guard at home in America, ready to handle this kind of thing. There are a lot of indicators that this is being set up. And in this rollout of this crazy scenario, where it is intended that there will be a limited nuclear exchange in the Middle East, the idea is that as the world looks upon this with horror, then they will demand from their governments that there are heavy controls over travel, over communication, over people who meet, over people who protest in the streets. They want to make sure that they don't have crazy bombers on airplanes, crazy bombers in the shopping malls. They want to make sure, and because people will be driven into fear by this, they'll request and demand and insist on heavy controls from their governments, which will be justified. And this is where you're going to kind of get the martial law situation in all the Western countries. It's intended as a justification. All of this is just the start of something, because this story gets much bigger, and it's pretty horrifying. And if watching this now you're feeling a little bit shocked, this is how I was feeling when I heard this information, and this is how our source was feeling when he was hearing this information in this meeting, because this is just the beginning. Now, during the time of this ceasefire, everyone's shocked, everyone's frightened, everyone's really terrified about where this is going to go. There are all kinds of heavy controls of...
Yeah, you can look back to the Ebola virus too. There was a patent on the Ebola virus. That's like when that shit was out. Definitely, I was on that shit heavy, researching and everything. And there is a U.S. patent on the Ebola virus. When I heard about the patent on this coronavirus, but that's the thing. A novel coronavirus is just a type of virus. That's like saying a dog. Yeah, you got a dog and I got a dog, but we don't have the same dog. You have a German Shepherd, I have a Doberman, and that guy has a Great Dane. And that's how the coronavirus is. Coronavirus is just like saying dog, but what is its specifications? What is its qualities and its identity? Now, do they have a patent on a type of novel coronavirus? Yes. Do they have a patent on this COVID-19, which is I forgot what COVID-19 actually stands for, but it basically stands for some kind of new coronavirus and they gave it the year 2019. So do they have a specific patent on this certain strand of coronavirus? That's really hard to determine. And like I was saying earlier, yeah, Bill Gates has been speculating this for over a decade. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation invest heavily in the malaria vaccinations of Africa, where some people speculate that they were actually spreading AIDS. There was another vaccine program that his foundation sponsored where they speculate it was causing sterility in the ladies. So Bill Gates is definitely a proponent for depopulation. He kind of says it. He says it without saying it, and that's what I try to tell people to listen to. Don't listen to just what a person says. You have to decipher what they're not saying. And so he has been preoccupied with a population control for decades. And he is, like you say, he is heavily involved, and his foundation is heavily invested in immunizations and vaccines, especially on the African continent. Most people want to just depopulate the original inhabitants of Africa. So, in 1,000 years from now, they can just rewrite history and say, white people came from Africa, white people built everything, and this is their origin, this is their original land. I think that's the point that they want to get to, because Africa is the jewel of the world. Africa has every natural resource, every type of ecosystem, any type of plant, fruit, anything can grow there. All the animals are there, all the minerals, every valuable, precious stone and ore is found in Africa. Whereas if you go closer, the more you go to the northern part of the globe, Europe, Northern Europe, Russia, there are no resources there. You don't find gold and diamonds in the tundras. There isn't even, you can't hardly grow shit. The growing seasons are all fucked up. And so, yeah, the further you go down south, the better it is for agriculture. And once you get into Africa, that's where all the precious minerals and stones are at. So depopulating the indigenous inhabitants of Alkebulan is has always been a part of their population control agenda, and Bill Gates invests heavily in that. Yeah, a lot of other company heads stepped down too, just not Bill Gates, but a lot of other billionaires stepped down uh, as CEOs of their companies, let other people run that shit so they can work on bigger issues.
Populations everywhere. And then the next thing that happens in this chess game that's being played is that biological weapons are released on China. You heard this being discussed in this meeting. They will release a flu-like virus that will be genetically targeted against the Chinese population. It's racially targeted against the Chinese people. It's designed to spread like wildfire and to knock out a large number of the Chinese people. And these people in this meeting were laughing about this. They said, China will catch a cold. Those were their words. China will catch a cold. And they were laughing about the fact that these biological weapons will wreak havoc among the Chinese population. And after that, then what effectively will be a kind of plague will actually spread right across the world to the West as well. Our source was not clear whether this was a Chinese retaliation or whether the thing would just spread out of control in the way that it would be very understandable if it did, whether it's racially targeted or not. These things actually mutate. So now you've got a situation where there's been a limited nuclear war in the Middle East. There's a pandemic that really is sweeping across the world and really is killing people very visibly. And you've got this total...
I don't know why I just don't ban you, bro. I should just chop your ass the fuck off, Skynet. But I like you, though. You're interesting. You say dumb shit, but you're still kind of cool sometimes. My man Blunt Mover don't like you, though. Most people don't like you. I almost don't like you. But you've been coming to my streams for so long, I just can't cut you off like that because you're a dummy. I mean, hey, you can learn a lot from a dummy. Don't cut him off because he's a dummy. You gotta keep him around. I might use this motherfucker as a scapegoat one day.
Totalitarian military lockdown in all the governments in the Western world because everyone's going to be in panic about all of this. And then he...
D1 don't like you neither. I'm surprised D1 ain't... Chop! What? Hey man, don't ask questions you ain't ready for, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the... Yo, y'all heard what he said, man? Is y'all listening to this? This was recorded in 2010. I'm gonna take it back 30 seconds.
In the way that it would be very understandable. Racially targeted against the Chinese people, it's designed to spread like wildfire and to knock out a large number of the Chinese people. And these people in this meeting were laughing about this. They said, China will catch a cold. Those were their words. China will catch a cold. And they were laughing about the fact that these biological weapons will wreak havoc among the Chinese population. And after that, then what effectively will be a kind of plague will actually spread right across the world to the West as well. Our source was not clear whether this was a Chinese retaliation or whether the thing would just spread out of control in the way that it would be very understandable if it did, whether it's racially targeted or not. These things actually mutate. So now you've got a situation where there's been a limited nuclear war in the Middle East. There's a pandemic that really is sweeping across the world and really is killing people very visibly, and you've got this totalitarian military lockdown in all the governments in the Western world because everyone's going to be in panic about all of this. And then, he said, then the real war starts, something that would be justifiably called the Third World War, with a much more major nuclear exchange. And at this point, I asked him, is this just about population reduction? What is this about? Why are they doing this? Why this insane Dr. Strangelove plan for just unleashing all of this stuff on the world? Why do it? Now, as our conversation went on, I started to find answers to those questions. Now, some of this is speculation. I want to share this speculation with you because it's important enough that we work together here to figure out what's going on. And there are some clues, there's some very important clues that I'm going to present to you here in this video. He said, absolutely, it's about population reduction. So I said, well, in this meeting, did they mention any figures? And he said, yes, they did, 50%. Half the world's population. This is planned as per the Georgia Guidestones. For those of you who don't know what the Georgia Guidestones are.
How often do we talk about the Georgia Guidestones? All the time. Y'all think, if I say this shit, I know I be sounding crazy sometimes, people. But when somebody else be saying the same shit I be saying, I don't be feeling like I'm crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm crazy. I learned about the Georgia Guidestones almost 15 years ago. But them shit's been there for 40 years. The Georgia Guidestones were erected 40 years ago. 2 decades ago. I just learned about it less than 20 years ago. But I realized, like, in that time, how many other people have never heard of the Georgia Guidestones? Like, don't even know about it. Or what they say, or what the implications of the Georgia Guidestones are. This motherfuckers just said they trying to reduce the population by 50%. So what is this? All this tension is building up right now. Is, like you said, is this going to lead to the next world war? Once we have fucking food shortages and all kind of shit going on, and then what? Some nuclear fallout to kill off the rest of us and shit. The janitor is back. By the time you came back, bro, been waiting for you, homie.
It's a stone monument in Georgia, in America, that was erected anonymously a number of years ago. It's in 8 languages, and it's like an Illuminati manifesto for a new world, as it were. And just hold that thought about this being a manifesto for a new world. This is an important concept here in what I'm presenting. One of the key parts of this manifesto for this new world is that there should be a population of 500 million people. Now, 500 million people is an enormous reduction from the nearly 7 billion that we've got at the moment. That's pretty much 95% of people who would no longer be on this planet. And 50% is a step towards that. And there's a reason why they're doing all of this. There's a reason why they're in a hurry. There's a reason for this insanity. And when he was explaining this, then he said that they have a name for this plan. This project has got a name. And I said, well, what is this name? He said, it is called the Anglo-Saxon Mission. The Anglo-Saxon Mission.
Now, those were 2 different groups of people. You had the Anglos and you had the Saxons from Northern Europe. And the 2 groups wind up combining. And that's how you get this Anglo-Saxon term. My homeboy actually wrote a book. The Road to Damascus, the Anglo-American Assault on Syria. Weren't we just talking about Syria and Iran and the Anglos? Come on, man. Y'all got to be up on this shit, man. Been doing this shit for years. I'm just really shocked this shit is happening so soon in my lifetime. I was like, man, I'll be like in my 60s or 70s when they start to crack down. My life would be like towards the end. Like, no, I got a whole lot of life to live. And the agenda is happening right now, bro. We've been speculating this shit for years. And we're like on the cusp of this whole turning event.
Now, I'd heard that before. It was something historical, I think, to do with the Crusades quite a long time ago.
Yeah, if you
but I hadn't heard it in the present day context, and neither had he. And later on, as he continued to tell his story, I began to understand what I thought this might be about. Hence the title of this video, and the reason why I want to share this information with you, because we need to work together to figure out what's going on here. It's extremely important to understand. There's a plan, I believe.
And Anglo-Saxon basically means white. When you hear Western or European or Anglo-Saxon, all those are terms for white people. So when he says it's the Anglo-Saxon agenda, you can just clearly say like the white people agenda. Breezy. How much you need to send me images that you want. Show me the images that you want me to recreate as a painting. Once I see the images, I will assess them and I will give you a price. If you can agree on the price, you send me a deposit and we'll get started. Yeah, I just said that. You came in a little bit too late, Breezy. Yeah, we just established. Just established that.
That Hitler would be proud of, which is so evil, it's so Machiavellian, it's so hard to face up to, it's so unbelievable that I need to put it on the table for you so that you can consider whether or not this might be a possibility. The plans that I've been describing are definitely a possibility because he heard them with his own ears in this meeting. Everything I've described up until now, up to and including a major outbreak of hostilities.
What's the major demographic population of Northern England? White people? English? White? Okay. Were the Saxons Asiatic, Hindu, Indian? No, they were European, Caucasian phenotypes. The Anglos, the Saxons were Caucasian phenotypes. They were what we would refer to in layman's terms as white people. So if you hear the phrase Anglo-Saxon, you're referring to Caucasian people from Europe, white people. Anglo-Saxon means white. I don't give a fuck what part of Europe you're talking about. You're European. Are Scottish people brown skin? Are they tan? Are they dark mahogany? Are they red? I ain't trying to sound racist. I'm not racist at all. I just try to make it simple. Just try to keep the shit simple and plain. White people like to categorize everybody else. When I know a word means white, I'm gonna just say the shit mean white. You know, I don't care if you say urban youth or inner city. When you say inner city and urban youth, I know that means black. I know it means black or Latino. Ain't nowhere around it. So when I hear terms like Western countries, or fucking shit like Anglo-Saxon, it means white. The original inhabitants of anywhere, any part of Africa are black. Just because during the Berlin Conference of 1885, where the European countries carved up Africa to claim portions of it for itself, and the fucking Europeans moved into South Africa, 150 100 years ago. Now you can say, oh, well, we've been here for a few generations. But yeah, South Africans are black. Just because it has a high European descendant population now, don't mean nothing. Come on, bro. And that's only been in the last 30 or 40 years due to immigration, migration, or whatever you want to call it. It's weird when people of color move into white countries and you got to call us all these other names. But when white people move into other countries, they just call expats or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. Once again, it's classification, categorization. Anglo. You know what the fuck I'm saying, right?
War. So the sequence is as follows. The planned sequence is as follows. Israel attacks Iran, then there's a ceasefire, then during which time there is heavy governmental military controls over populations in all Western countries. Then China is attacked by a biological weapon. It's a flu-like disease. It spreads like wildfire. This goes all over the world, and then they have a major Third World War. And then, by this time, 50% of the population will be destroyed. And not only because of the war or the plague, but because, as many of you watching this will understand, the infrastructure goes down in situations like this. There's no food in the supermarkets, there's no gas in the pumps, there's the telecommunication goes down, there may not even be water coming out of the taps. People are kind of thrown back into a Victorian era without the facilities to handle this, because most people don't have their vegetable gardens, they don't have their horse and cart, they're not able to survive in the way that we used to be able to. We're very, very vulnerable in our technological advancement. We're extremely vulnerable, and of course the controllers know this. At this stage, our source was speculating about why are they in a hurry? Why do they want to do this? And there's a sort of heavy irony here, which is like, I was saying, well, if you're going to plan
the simple fact that the Europeans devastated the so-called African Americans to the point where we don't know what to call ourselves. We don't know how to label ourselves here in America, because the black man in America is a created person. We were created by Europeans as servants. Our name is taken away from us. That's why I have a European name. My name should be Oshun Ungambe or some shit, but I don't fucking know. Because my history was interrupted by slavery. So yeah, here in America, do I consider myself American? I have to, because this is the country I was born in. This is the only country I've ever lived in. But as far as being a Negro or being black or being colored or being African American, we have never been able to label ourselves what we want to call ourselves. We don't know our real history. I'm from the deep South. Most people who try to trace their lineage back, it stops at a bill of sale. So some people know that Anglo-Saxon is Scottish because I have Scottish roots and I have British roots and I have Irish roots. And I don't know what the fuck my roots are. So am I sure what to call myself? Not exactly. Is that my fault? I don't blame it on myself. Motherfuckers' last name Johnson and James and all this other shit. These are all European names that we still carry. Still carry European names till this day. And then when we want to name our kids Shaquanda and Tyrika and everything to try to come up with an original name for ourselves, you laugh at us and call it ghetto and hood when we're just trying to be original and not have a European name like Jessica and Andre and all this other shit. Fuck that. My name is Travis. You know what I'm saying? Rename myself Ugambe.
War, then why not take your time over it and get it right and do a really good job? You can, this could be in 20 years' time or 30 years' time, it doesn't really matter. Why is there in such a rush? And our source said that he felt, from inside information he's continued to receive, that this is still timed for something around 18 months from now. And that puts it around about the middle of 2011. He doesn't know this for sure because these events aren't calendar driven. They're actually event sequence driven. In other words, this has got to happen before that happens, and then after that the next thing can happen, then after that the next thing can happen. So a whole lot of things have got to be in place before all the dominoes fall over, so to speak. And they seem to be behind schedule in some of this. There are some planned events that definitely haven't happened. One of the things which I remembered when I was hearing this story was that our source, Henry Deacon, and many of you who've watched Project Camelot videos and read their reports for the last 3 years will know that when we met Henry Deacon in 2006, he said that in his own inside information was that there would be a war against China in 2008. And that didn't happen. And all this time, at that time it didn't make any sense, and even now it didn't make any sense. It's like, well, all right, but why do this? Why do this? Why do this? Now, this was his answer. And our source is a pretty smart guy. He's been in the military. It's a totally different story that he didn't debrief in our audio transcript, which you have the opportunity to read, but he's had his own ET experiences in the military. He's got his own sources of information about some of the background for this. He says that he's as sure as he can be that the people who are calling the shots in...
Bro, you are so wrong, Breezy. So wrong about that. Your history is every fucking thing. If I knock you the fuck across the head and you wake up with amnesia and you can't remember shit, you're fucked. If you don't remember anything about who you are or where you came from, you're pretty much fucked. I'm gonna tell you whoever I want you to be now. So don't say it's not how we got there. It is absolutely about the whole historical journey that makes up who a person is, what a culture is, how a civilization functions and thrives, is because of its history. And if that shit ain't mean nothing, I don't see why the fuck we got all these Irish pubs and goddamn St. Patrick's Day parades and all this shit in America. If the fucking history ain't mean shit, you're not in Ireland. You're in America now. So why have all these pageants and displays of your heritage and your history if it doesn't matter how you got to America? It's only matter what happens now that you're here in America. We should all be Americans. Don't say dumb shit, bro.
You can call them the Illuminati, the controllers, the cabal, whatever name you have for them. They believe that there is going to be what he called a geophysical event, a major geophysical event.
Geophysical?
He says that the best information that he's got is that the insiders believe that this is going to happen, or they are concerned that this is going to happen. And many of you watching this will know that this isn't a completely crazy idea. There have been trillions of dollars that have been spent on deep underground bases for some reason, which we don't know why it is. You'll know about the seed bank in Svalbard. This is in the public domain, where all the seed...
I tell y'all, the seed bank, motherfuckers got seed banks in Norway or somewhere, yo, in Sweden, with pure seeds, no GMO modifications or nothing like that, of every flowering fruit, vegetable, everything, yo. All the millions of varieties of plant life on this. Yo, they had to stockpile that shit, yo, because they know one day something's gonna fucking come, yo. Look up organic seed bank. Telling you, yo, they got their bunkers in place, they got their seed banks in place. This shit ain't no damn joke, man. These motherfuckers don't prepare for this shit if they not assuming that something is gonna happen.
All the plants and all the crops in the world have been buried deep inside a granite vault in northern Norway.
Norway, yeah, that's where it said Norway.
Taken as if something might happen that could really threaten some of these valuable resources.
How did I know there was a seed bank in Norway? I do research.
Now,
I study this shit, bro. This shit is fascinating to me. The elite.
This is because
these motherfuckers
it
crazy.
seems to be preserved Illuminati inside knowledge, whether it's true or not, that there are repeated cyclical geophysical events about every 11,500 years. Information about what really happened to Atlantis was very probably in the Great Library of Alexandria that burnt down a couple of thousand years ago.
That was burnt down. That shit ain't burned down by itself. That's hey.
In the Vatican Library.
I just caught him. That's why I say it's not what people say, it's what they don't say. Oh, the history and records of what happened to Atlantis may have been in the Library of Alexander that was burnt down. He said that burnt down. No, Alexander the Great tried to conquer northern Egypt, fucking took over the libraries of Timbuktu and all that shit, and the Persians burnt the histories. They burnt the written records of how long and established the black man's history really was. They burnt all of that shit. Shot the noses off the Sphinx and all the edifices in Africa so nobody can't see that shit. Yo, like, oh my God, these niggas was crazy. How they do that? We don't know. Burn it.
This is information which is not in the public domain and which the insiders may have access to. Whether it's accurate or not, the important thing is to realize that they probably believe that this will happen, and they're making their precautions. And this might be the justification for this insanity that we've just heard about in this plan. Consider this. He said If there's going to be a major geophysical event, something like a pole shift, maybe it's Planet X, maybe it's some kind of energetic phenomenon that the solar system is going to be moving into, that's going to somehow destabilize the Earth or the Earth's crust in some way, we don't know. But if there were to be a major emergency like that, something that would actually make a war look very inconsequential, the thing that will help the human race to survive it, or will help parts of the human race to survive it, is if there is already emergency preparedness in place before it happens. In other words, if you knew that there was an emergency coming, if you knew, for instance, that there's a hurricane coming in to hit your city, then you put all the emergency preparedness in place beforehand. You have the troops ready, you have the infrastructure ready, you have the military ready, you have everything that you need ready to handle this situation so you can respond and react and recover in the best possible way. Our source suggests that the reason for this whole Third World War scenario is that then the Western governments, with the Chinese out of the way, will be in a state of such totalitarian control of their own population that they will be best equipped to recover and rebuild the new world after a cataclysm.
Facts.
And he thinks that this is what's happening.
All right, now this dude is talking about they're preparing for some global geographical cataclysm that may disrupt the tectonic plates, cause continent shifts or reverse the poles or whatever. Now, once again, even the shit he talking about, the virus, flu-like virus, they said China will catch a cold and it'll spread around the world and martial law. Like, if you listen to this shit, when it immediately came out 10 years ago, you'd be like, yo, this dude sounds fucking crazy, yo. This nigga talking some crazy shit. But now that it's actually happening, he don't sound crazy at all. He doesn't sound crazy at all. But now he's speculating some global cataclysm. And, I mean, once again, a lot of the ancient cultures believed in, cycles. That's why I really never jumped on the human pollution is causing global temperature rise. And it's like, is it really? Or is our sun just going through a phase? Because the sun is where most of the heat comes from. And our sun gets hotter at some times and cooler at some times. And that's why this planet has had several ice ages where it's really cold and there's a lot of ice covering most of the planet. Then it gets really hot. Then the ice goes away. And then it gets really cold and the ice and glaciers come back. And now we're at the end of an ice age that is still slowly ending, which is melting our polar ice caps. And it's just a phase that our planet goes through. That's what happens. And even these cataclysmic events may be something cyclical in origin to our planet, maybe how the interior of the planet reacts, and we don't really know. We just speculate that it's a molten core of iron or whatever. But who knows, every several thousand years that shit might have a burp or a hiccup or a fart or some shit that really just shakes the whole fucking planet. It cools back down and it stays like that for another 26,000 years until the planet has to fart and burp again and fucking fucks everything. What we would consider the fuck up shit for us, but it's the planet going through a natural cycle of being a fucking planet. Oh, well, we never been civilized, bro. We went from barbarism to decadence and just skipped over real civilization. That's why we still go to fucking war. Like, if we were truly civilized, why would we still war and create weapons of mass destruction and all this shit, man? We don't live in, this isn't a true civilization. I hate to say it, ever since the white man been ruling the world, it's always just been constant war and destruction, war and destruction. I can imagine, like, if Atlantis was a real place, you know what I'm saying? How they live, in the earliest civilizations on the African continent, how they structured themselves and organized themselves. And I'm sure it wasn't based on just warring and trying to control and dominate the planet itself. You know what I'm saying? The European just wants to control the entire planet. It's the weirdest fucking thing. And that's why I try to follow the elite and try to see what their agendas are. Because these motherfuckers influence everything, yo. They influence everything. And that's why the Asians were like, yo, this is our fucking century. We're going to take control of this shit and we're going to let the Asians run this shit for 100 years and see how that shit works. Just the same way the fucking Moors ran Italy for fucking 700 years. You know what I'm saying? Shit was just different, Different people just need to rule at different times. But the elite that have been ruling for the past century, man, they just been fucking shit up, yo. Just fucking shit up. Left and right, left and right, left and right. About to destroy the whole goddamn planet. We're doomed. We're all fucking doomed.
I have to tell you that this terrible logic makes sense to me, that they would think that way. I'm not for a moment agreeing that this will happen. I think this is wild, crazy stuff, but if they believe that it's going to happen, then this could be their justification for this kind of plan that we've heard about is really being discussed. And this now is my own speculation right now, which also makes sense to me. And I invite your comments and your thoughts about this. We need to work together to figure out what's happening here. It's called the Anglo-Saxon Mission. What that told me was that the reason for the name is because this is a white racist agenda.
White racist agenda
of the new earth. It's a plan that Hitler...
Wait a minute. Now this is a white dude telling you this shit. And when I said Anglo-Saxon mean white, he tried to debate me on that shit. Then this dude just said this is a white racist organization. Like, duh. Oh my God, just say it plain and clear. I mean, you can just say it plainly. It's white, man. It's white racism, bro. That's all it is, bro. It's the total domination of the world and the people and the inhabitants of the world by the Anglo-Saxon agenda. Oh my God. When I say it plain, I'm a racist. But if I would have never brought that point up, if we never would have had that whole discussion that it means white and just let that shit slide, when this guy said it, that Anglo-Saxon is a white racist agenda, would you have disputed him saying it? Would you made a big deal about, oh, that doesn't mean white? Oh, man, it's so good. It's so good, bro. I'm so good.
This kind of plan that we've heard about is really being discussed. And this now is my own speculation.
My own speculation.
Which also makes sense to me. And I invite your comments and your thoughts about this. We need to work together to figure out what's happening here. It's called the Anglo-Saxon Mission. What that told me was that the reason for the name is because this is a white racist agenda for the inheriting of the new earth. It's a plan that Hitler would be proud of. If they think that a new earth needs to be rebuilt, a new world, think of that little phrase there. If a new world needs to be rebuilt after a cataclysm, they want the Anglo-Saxons to be doing it. They don't want the Chinese to be doing it. They get the Chinese out of the way first. And then the Anglo-Saxons will inherit this new world with the other nations, the Asian nations, the African nations, the South American nations. Presumably, it is assumed that they won't have the resources to be able to handle the situation in any kind of a way that gives them the strength to recover after whatever it is that they think is going to occur.
Then you have a Hunger Games scenario.
There are several other parts of it.
And if you never watched the first Hunger Games movie, don't think that, fiction can't represent real life. You read 1984 or Brave New World and watch shit like the Hunger Games, where the elite all live in this glistening city, and then you have different segments of the lower population sectioned off into groups that have specific tasks and specific jobs to serve the elite group. And if you're lucky, if you fight to the death, then you might can come be a part of us. We'll give you a little challenge, throw you some scraps or whatever. But these, like I say, art imitates life so heavenly. And when Hollywood continues to desensitize you to all these possibilities of major changes in societal ways that the world is run, so like I say, in this specific situation that we're currently in right now, people are like astonished, but it's like kind of seen it coming. Kind of Elysium, where they were in the fucking sky and all the other people are just left on Earth to fucking scavenge and scum for them fucking cells, while they have the best technology where you can just rebuild your whole fucking, you were diagnosed with cancer, you go lay in a machine and it eradicates the cancer. The dude got his fucking brain blowed out, his fucking face blown off, but with just a little bit of his tissue still there, the machine recreated him, came back like there wasn't no problem, you know what I'm saying? But people on Earth are just living in squalor.
Which also fit, and one of the reasons why this is an important presentation to make personally is my own personal thoughts, because up until now I've been following a lot of the well-founded research on these sorts of agendas. We've had our own sources of information over the last 3 years. But I've always had questions in my mind, like, why would they do this? War against China? Why? Third World War? Why? And suddenly, a lot of these things start to make a little bit more sense. It's possible, for example, that when we heard from Jordan Maxwell, in our interview with him, which we did at the end of last year, 2009, he described to us how he had researched a number of repeating symbols and images that had been used ever since the time of Hitler, and even long before that, about the dawn of a new day. There's something very important in Masonic and Illuminati thinking about the dawn of a new day. And here we have possibly the reason for their belief that if you think about the possibility of a cataclysm, if they think this is really going to happen, the 2012 movie that many of you will have seen.
2012?
After all of the flood and all of the earthquakes and tsunamis, then you've got these big ships sailing across a calm sea with the sun streaming through the clouds, and you've got the dawn of a new day, and the implication in that movie is that now those people will be able to rebuild the new earth because those are the survivors. It's the modern day Noah's Ark. It's possible that the dawn of the new day, that it refers to that. And it even occurred to me, and I'd be interested for other researchers to offer their views on this, that the very term the New World Order that we first started to hear about 20 years ago, actually longer ago than that, but the New World might be the post-cataclysmic world, the New World. It might be the order for the New World after the cataclysm. They may be planning who will inherit the New World. It may be nothing less than this. Maybe this is what the New World Order is all about. It really is the order, the plan for the new world that they think is coming. They think this is going to happen. Now, I say again, it's very, very important to differentiate out all of this information here. I don't believe this is going to happen at all, but they might be doing something crazy to try and safeguard what they believe is their own interests. This is what we need to be aware of here. And what I want to do is I want to just state really clearly why there are profound reasons for not believing that anything like this is going to happen. There are a lot of things that haven't happened which were intended to happen. Many of you will remember on I think it was the 30th of August 2007, there was a B-52 bomber that flew halfway across America from Minot Air Force Base to Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana with 6 armed nuclear cruise missiles on its wingtips, something that could never happen by accident. It was illegal, it should never have happened. You can't even smuggle a bullet out of the weapons storage area in an Air Force base without there being a whole bunch of signatures and everybody knowing about it, let alone making the mistake of loading armed cruise missiles onto a B-52 bomber with nobody noticing it. There was a reason why that happened, and that was actually prevented from going any further. It stopped at Barksdale in Louisiana. Some very brave airmen blew the whistle on that, and they did their job, and they reported it up the line. It appeared very, very briefly in the mainstream media, and after that it was completely covered over.
Yeah, because I never heard that story. Goddamn.
That wasn't a mistake. There was a reason why they did that. And what many of you don't know is that at that same time, at the end of August, a group of anonymous investors bet $2 billion that the stock market would fall by 50% before the 21st of September 2007. They stood to gain $4.5 billion if their bet had succeeded. These were what are known as put options. And the insiders in the stock market, they call them Bin Laden trades. It's a sort of ironic description because of the betting that took place around about 9/11. Okay, those people lost their bet. It didn't work. The plan didn't work. The stock market didn't fall. The bomber never went any further. And for all we know, that was intended to be the start of the Third World War. It never happened. Okay? We heard a few minutes ago, I was describing how Henry Deacon described that the war against China was meant to start in 2008. That didn't happen. A lot of people thought that was crazy. A lot of people thought he was crazy. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he heard something that was a real plan, but they're 2 years behind schedule, and maybe this will never happen at all. There are a number of other things that may have been planned and which have never transpired. It's very interesting to think about the so-called Mexican flu outbreak, the swine flu outbreak. For the last 6 to 9 months, we've been looking at a scenario where it looked as if they wanted to roll out vaccinations, they wanted a lot of people to get ill, they wanted to announce a pandemic. Even now, there have been proposals to extend this pandemic declaration for another 2 years, and nothing's happening. In England, we call it a storm in a teacup. There's nothing happening here. But maybe something was intended. Now, if it wasn't intended, it's possible that all of that could have been some kind of a test, just to see how people respond, to see how people react, to see how quickly it spreads, to see what the take-up of the vaccinations will be. And then, of course, us at Project Camelot and a number of other people who've been activists in this whole area trying to draw attention to all of this, now are all in a database. They know who's going to stand up and start talking about all of this stuff. So it might have been an experiment, or it could have been a failed rollout of something. There's plenty of reason to believe that things are changing. This is the important thing. And those of you who've been following the work of David Icke,
Yep, David Icke.
This is an important perspective here, because we support his work fully, in as much as he makes a beautiful presentation and he starts off by saying, we are infinite consciousness. There are many ways to put this, but it's very hard to disagree with that. We're immortal, godlike beings who've long ago forgotten what our power was. The potential of consciousness is enormous. It's very important to realize that how powerful we are may be the single most important component in this whole picture that enables us to save the day. This may be what it's really all about. Admiral George Hoover, who died in 1998, he was in the office of...
Yeah, the guy who had, what his name was? Weinstein? No, I'm thinking about somebody. What was the motherfucker name who had the lease on the Twin Towers a couple of months, like 6 months or 7 months before 9/11 happened? The motherfucker took out an extra insurance policy so that both towers had separate insurance policies against terrorists, specifically against terrorist attacks. And then 6 months later, a terrorist attack happens, and this motherfucker comes up like billions of dollars off of that shit. Coincidence. But yeah, like I said, I used to listen to a lot of Ike. Not so much these days. I might try to find some stuff and see what he's saying about this whole corona pandemic. But like I say, Alex Jones, a lot of the guys I listened to earlier in my research and shit, I don't really listen to anymore. Like Jordan Maxwell, he was a good one for a long time. I learned a lot of stuff from him. Just don't agree with a lot of his personal opinions and belief. Alex Jones, the same thing. Learned a lot of shit from Alex Jones. Just slowly started to disagree more with his opinions and beliefs. David Icke is another person I think that I learned a lot from. But like I say, just slowly disagree with a lot of his opinions and beliefs. So I just don't listen to him anymore. Every once in a while, I'll, like situations like this, I'll just try to see what they're saying about it. Like I say, you got to listen to as many sources as you possibly can. Put their beliefs and opinions to the side and see what kind of facts they trying to hit you with. Any kind of anything of substance that you can goddamn fact check. Cause shit getting weird, man. Don't just keep listening to the regular news. Shit getting weird. And then how this social distancing thing going. I don't see how we're gonna get regular news much longer. I was watching some TV show earlier. I was at the auto shop getting some work done on my car, and it's like, I forgot what show it was, but it's like, are they still recording these shows live? Like, got a studio audience sitting up there, and the hosts are all sitting next to each other. It's whatever show. What the dude is on there? It has Jeff Goldblum. Is he on it? Well, he was on there. The Fly, the dude from the scientist from Jurassic Park. He was on there. I was like, oh, I guess they're not concerned. They're still recording in front of a live studio audience. Go figure. But that first part, like, he's still talking about a lot of really interesting stuff. I'm at an hour and a half. Well, that was one thing Alex Jones always said is like, he's so much in the public eye that it'll be hard for them to get to him. And because he said he's had, threats on his life, people threaten his family just because the motherfucker is so outspoken. I mean, but that comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? If you're really, really opinionated and you have a pretty decent platform, you're bound to fucking ruffle some feathers somewhere, get some people pissed off at something or other you said, and then that's all it takes. Oh damn, I think I lightened that too much. I think this right here needs more of a shadow. More of a shadow. What you do all weekend? I paint and talk politics and shit. Had a motherfucker call me racist because I said Anglo-Saxon mean white. And then 10 minutes later, a white man said the same thing. Ah, so good. It was so good. These are the times. I just be painting, talking that education shit, man. Trying to stay informed. You know what I'm saying? Keep my people hip to the game. I started late because I was on Facebook for a minute, streaming, just running my mouth on that shit. I really do need my own TV show, like a real show, y'all. I could just talk about dumb shit for hours, y'all. But I'm starting to get hungry, and tonight is going to be one of those hungry man meals nights, because y'all know what I do. I don't take shit out the freezer. I'm like, damn, why I ain't take that chicken out the freezer? Shit. It's almost to the point where I don't know, I cook more on the, like, cook bigger meals on the weekends. I don't mind cooking during the week, but I don't know, after work, I'd rather just paint. If I gotta cook a whole meal on a work night, I can't come in the studio. I gotta come home and go straight in the kitchen. Ain't nobody got time for that. Do I want to eat or do I want to paint? I think I'll paint. I can eat something simple later. I'll make a quick meal. Fuck it. I gotta get to this art shit. Do I want to eat or do I want to paint? Yeah, but JFK was way more influential because of his position. And that was the last presidential assassination because it set a standard for anybody else who gets that position to don't fuck with us. We will JFK you. But that's just like William Cooper wrote Behold a Pale Horse. They killed his fucking ass. What's the other motherfucker? They silenced his ass. They killed Malcolm X. They killed Dr. King too. And they weren't presidents, but motherfuckers just be in the way. You know what I'm saying? You be in the way. But that was all before, a lot of the digital camera society that we live in now. Everything can be caught on camera now. You ain't gonna get away with shit. That's why I don't know how they ain't catch Epstein's killer. Oh, because both security guards fell asleep and the cameras malfunctioned at the precise moment when he choked himself to death. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You guys are so funny. You guys are hilarious. They killed Bin Laden. And where's his body? Oh, we threw it off the boat in the ocean. Really? Oh man, you guys are funny. I'm supposed to believe that though, right? Okay. Okay. I'll just chew that up and swallow that. So yeah, some people get taken out quick and easy, and some people, if they do maintain a high public appearance, it's hard to just get to them. It's hard to get to them because somebody might see what you're doing. Oh, Stanley Kubrick? Yeah, they killed that motherfucker. They say he was the one who directed the moon landing. Oh yeah, I remember that shit. And one dude too. They old black dude, yo. They gave him some money to shut the fuck up. All the first responders dead. All the firefighters, all the motherfuckers caught cancer and all that shit, and they told them not to fucking talk to interviewers about what they saw. That's what I say, man. This whole fucking country, man, lies and deceit, lies and deceit. Then you talking about global pandemic, coronavirus killing millions. Like, is it really? Man, it's so hard to know what to fucking believe now, cause you just. And then you got this dude right here telling us this story about some guy told him some shit over 10 years ago that they plan on releasing some type of biological weapon on China that's supposed to affect the Chinese population, but they could possibly spread globally into some pandemic because, they mutate. And it's like, Jesus Christ, here we go again. Here they go with this shit. Motherfuckers just can't sit their ass the fuck down and stop touching shit. Why I gotta fuck everything up, bro? Man, yo. People just trying to live in peace. These Anglo-Saxons want to run every goddamn thing. Have the whole fucking world for they self. Fuck that. I feel like my old self, yo. I used to be on this conspiracy shit so hard. Now it's like I ain't really had to do it in a long time. But now this shit, it's so hard to know like what's fucking real, yo. All this shit is a goddamn conspiracy. Motherfuckers are conspiring to implement some type of plan that we really don't actually see what the fuck it is right now. And that's the hard part, trying to see what their fucking next move is. This motherfucker's playing chess, yo. You know how to play chess? Anytime you make one move in chess, man, you gotta have at least 3 moves prepared. You gotta look the move you about to make, and you gotta be prepared for your next 2 moves. And that's how these motherfuckers do this shit, yo. They moving this shit now, but what they next two moves gonna be? That be the hard shit to figure out. Most of it just guesswork. But if you research and study history and understand the moves they like to make and some of the moves they normally make, then you can kind of predict the outcome of their next move. But somebody tell me history not important. It's not where you come from, it's where you at now. Now fuck out of here, bro. History is most definitely important. History is most definitely important. Damn, my stomach's starting to growl. My lord. It's on a Monday. Alright, I'm gonna cook something quick tonight, but I am taking some chicken out when I go downstairs. And then tomorrow, ooh, I got some salad in there, yo. I might make me. I was gonna grill some chicken this past weekend, yo, and do a grilled chicken salad. But we wound up baking chicken, and then we had baked chicken and homemade mashed potatoes and asparagus one night. But I might do some grilled chicken on a salad tomorrow night for dinner, yo. Word to mother. Grilled chicken on a salad. Got those fresh spring greens. Grilled chicken on a salad. I know what eating healthy means. Grilled chicken on a salad. I got them fresh spring greens. Grilled chicken on a salad. I know what eating healthy means. That's my next song. I'm gonna release that shit next week called Grilled Chicken on the Salad. You know what I'm saying? Get the single now. Got the ringtones out. People use ringtones anymore? That's the first time I said ringtone in a long time. What the hell? Is that still a thing? Ringtones? Motherfuckers don't make music off that no more, is it? Young Jock said, hey, you know how much money I made off my ringtones? It's all good, bro. Ringtone king. Man said he was the ringtone king. They listening. I gotta get that song out, yeah. You gonna look up what after the stream, yo? To all your phone calls, your conversations with your relations, they listening. And now they own you, even own your home too. You talking about I'll smoke y'all in chest. Boy, you crazy, boy. I'll pull that Knight's Gambit out and do a passant and king side on your ass. You done. It's a wrap. I throw up my little bombardment. It's all gravy, baby. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do? What you want to do? Cause I sacrifice my queen. That's the first thing I'm putting out there, bro. I'm take your queen. You can have mine. I don't give a damn. I can play without that bitch. I'm telling you, my bombardment is strong. My knight is a beast, and I snipe the shit out you with a bishop. You know, from F8, bro. What's good? What's good? You ain't want none of that shit on the chessboard, bro. Motherfucker don't even know how to play. I watch chess for fun. When I'm bored, I watch other people play chess. That's how much I like chess. When the last time you just what you want to watch on TV? Let's watch some chess games. Do you ever do that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. You might watch chess games. I don't know. You might do. I'm just saying. That's what I do sometimes because it's funny. I like watching chess. I like watching people play that shit and talk shit to each other while they play chess. It's a good time for me. To all your phone calls, your conversations with your relations, they listening, they listening. Edward Snowden told you that you snowed in, and now you're frozen, 'cause they track your modem. They listening, they listening. They scan your emails, everything you buy from retail, and all your weed sales. Hold up. They scan your emails and everything you buy from retail, and plus your weed sales. What was the last bar for that one? And all your weed sales, now they know what we sell. They listening, they listening. To all your phone calls, your conversations with your relations. They listening, they listening. So the virus don't hurt you, they giving you a curfew. Global lockdown, people. Global lockdown. Who seen this coming? I kind of did. Like I said, I just didn't think it'd be this soon. Shit. I thought I had some more time to get some shit together. Get my shit straight, all the way straight. I need some solar panels and gas generators and damn, I ain't got no time for that. You got time for that? FBI wanna see what's poppin'. Alright, getting confused. Where's my line? My line should go. If that's down and that's there, then this is. I don't care. You can go first. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you can have the white pieces and lead off first, bro. Shit, I'm an African American male. Yeah, I'm on defense all the time. Always on defense. Why are you so defensive? Man, I'm the black piece in the game of chess. What the fuck are you at? I'm on defense, bitch. I gotta start out on defense. This motherfucker get the move first. No, you wanna go first, cause you white. In my game, black go first. No. That ain't how the rules. That ain't how the rules set up, man. The queen got to sit on her color, and white get the first move, bro. Get in your own square, bitch. Get on your own square. Dun 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 dun. And now they own you. They even own your home too. And they listening to all your phone calls and all your conversations. Y'all niggas guilty by association, bro. I be hating to tell y'all that. I just gotta keep reminding y'all, cause y'all think it's a damn joke. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm a dissident. Y'all motherfuckers following me right the fuck up, too. Dummies. When the revelation begins, who gonna ride? I'm riding. Fuck that, I'm riding. Weapon confiscation? Says who? Says the U.S. military. Fuck that. Bah, 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 bah. Ain't nobody gonna do that shit. Anybody wanna go to war with the army? We're doing a weapons roundup. You have any firearms in the home or on your premises? No? So you don't mind if we come check? Yeah, I do mind. It's military business. Firearm roundup. You're not taking my goddamn guns over my cold dead body. Boy, boy, boy. All right, son, get his guns. Why won't that little piece of shit just stay off my canvas, dude? Get off my canvas. You're not welcome here. And now you got a curfew. Alright guys, I'm about to see if I can get to a good little stopping point. Damn, I still can't believe my man called me racist, bro. Said I ain't racist. It doesn't mean white. It means Scottish. Whatever you want to call it, homie. It's, hey, hell, you know what I'm saying? To me, in my opinion, when I hear that shit, it means white, bro. It just means white, bro. Deal with it, homie. Deal with it. It's an inconvenient truth, I know, but it's actual and factual. Never thought I would even have to like debate that point. Like, doesn't mean white. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on that. My bad, bro. It's just been so long since somebody called me racist. It's just like, wow. Guess you don't know your history. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. See now you're fucking up. You're doing too much and you're fucking it up, Trap. You should have just stopped a while ago before you even did all that. You know, it was good. It was good to go, and then you want to try to do something else, and just fucks up. You know, motherfucker don't know when to quit sometimes. You feel me? Just know when to say when. Know when to say when. I got time for the BS because it helps educate, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's been a minute since I've been called a racist where I can actually help educate people on to how your psychology thinks that I am a racist when in actuality I'm not. I don't know what I said to make you think that. Oh, that's what I said? Well, let's break this down. It's just a chance to educate. You know, I try to educate the trolls. I try to educate the misinformed or uninformed or underinformed. And hopefully I'll get a little bit of education in turn because I definitely learn a whole lot from my viewers and my stream. That's why I really, really enjoy doing this shit. I learn new information, new facts, new music, books, everything. I have gotten so many suggestions on so many different types of material just from my viewers that it's fucking awesome. And so I feel that if my viewers are able to educate me, I'm more than happy to help educate some viewers on social issues, political matters, religious topics, or whatever we're in the mood for that day. You know, this is art and education. So, man, this sleeve is almost done. A little bit more here. Still going to be another layer that I have to do on here to get these folds and everything looking real tight. I think I need some more bright highlights in these creases a little bit more. I need to lighten up some of these creases here and darken them up in some other places. I'm going to need some more highlights on this part of the shirt here. This is going to be really bright. So, and I didn't finish that one little edge of the shoulder up there as well where these folds come into play. So still got a good bit to work on the shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's slow going. I'm a slow painter, but my shit come out like this. You know, it just takes time. It takes the speed that I like to go, which is a decent speed. You know, it's like Mach 2. So we did 2 hours, did about 45 minutes listening to that interview from Project Camelot, and then we painted for about a good hour or so. I feel good about that. I can actually see a difference from when I came in this morning. Well, when I came in here this evening, so maybe in tomorrow's stream I can get this spot finished. It's not easy. It's not easy trying to figure out where the lines and the shadows go. I mean, I can see it in the picture, but then trying to recreate it, it's tough. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? But I can do it because I'm a fucking artistic master. You know what I'm saying? Dutch guy. What kind of books do I like? I like all kind of books, bro. Anything that's fun to read or educational. Doesn't matter. Like all, I got a pretty eclectic taste in literature. Why won't that work? I. Both my parents have slapped my grown ass. Never heard of Jose Saramago? Saramago? But I have heard of Salvador Dali. So read stuff like that. You ever heard of James Patterson? Really popular novelist. Classic books like William Golding, Lord of the Rings. Graphic novels by Stephen King, The Dark Tower, The Gunslinger Born. Nobody has this but me. Some more classic books like the collection of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Historical stuff like The Son of the Sun, which is a book about Akhenaten. Akhenaten the Egyptian. Things like Holy Blood, Holy Grail. And this is my absolute favorite author of all times, Dr. Amos Nelson Wilson. He's most notable for writing Black on Black Violence, The Psychodynamics of Self-Black Annihilation in Service of White Domination. He also wrote the Psychological Development of the Black Child. He wrote this book, Blueprint for Black Power. He wrote The Falsification of African Consciousness. And I just really love his stuff. But as you can see just from this handful of books, like, I'll read almost anything, bro. You know, even have my trusty Holy Bible here. I keep this out because I like showing people this book. Alan Page, who the hell are you? Hmm? Oh, nah. My thug days has been over, bro. I've been done with the thug shit. I don't do shit but read now. You know what I'm saying? The Destruction of Black Civilization, Great Issues of a Race from 4500 AD to 2000, 4500 BC to 2000 AD, written by Chancellor Williams. You know what I'm saying? The autobiography of Malcolm X. Uh, Here's a book on the Rothschilds right here. Huey P. Newton, American Apartheid. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got to read the ISIS papers. Nelson Mandela, Robert Greene. We got to read. You got some, who that? 48 Laws of Power. When rocks cry out, they came before Columbus. You know what I'm saying? Message to the black man. Ain't nothing but books over here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Art and education. I don't call this shit art and education for no reason. Oh, you see my Dali book in the painting? Salvador Dali. You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't, I don't just be talking that shit, man. I walk the walk, bro. I know that's right. Cause I'm comfortable in the library or a trap house. Shit don't matter to me. What you wanna do? I'm comfortable everywhere I go. I can stand on the corner. I can stand in the art gallery. I can talk to the dope boy, and I can talk to a museum curator. It's all good. How you want to play it? I can play checkers and chess and PS4. It don't. What you want to do, bro? We well rounded over here, man. We well rounded over here, bro. Yo, Southwest, that's what's up. Follow my Instagram. It's right there on the notification bar. Paintings by the Prince. White girls. What happened? I missed something? Alright. Let me get my ass up out of here so I can see what the hell I'm gonna eat for dinner. Let me swap this thinner out real quick. Boy, that shit hot. I ain't gonna lie. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? A king can lose the crown. A teacher will always remain intelligent. You can't take that away from me. You know what I'm saying? A king can lose his crown. A teacher stays intelligent. Dutch guy, I really don't know. I haven't listened to Trump today. Um, I wish you were in the stream earlier. Uh, while I'm eating, that's what I probably do, yo. Catch up on some Corona news for the day. I haven't listened to um, any new reports or anything today. Really haven't listened to the news at all today. For this stream, I actually listened to a interview from 10 years ago where a guy was predicting this. He's an actor. but so yeah, while I'm eating dinner, I'll probably try to find whatever the latest news reports was for today. Like I say, shit is getting crazier and crazier day by day. Like I say, last week they actually enforced a curfew for my county. It wasn't here, it was already in our state, but it was just located to the bigger cities. And now they're like, oh, in your county too, you can't fucking go out after 8 o'clock. Like, what the fuck? Damn. All right, guys. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.